Hello everybody and welcome to Almost Solitaire. Um, we have now reached the year 225, not 25, 25 as the famous song goes, but we are in BC of course, and we are playing Command & Colors Ancients, and well, this is the Battle of Clusium, and we are seeing a new, well, let's call it faction, the Gauls. So we are, for the first time, seeing some barbarian blocks, the green blocks from the, I think it's expansion 2 from the series, and it's a pretty early battle with Gauls, and well, the reason for this battle was that, well, it's a long history basically, because there has been a lot of tension between the Gauls and the Romans for hundreds of years. Prior to this battle, one of the famous things that happened was the Gauls sacked Rome. I think it was in the, I remember the year, but maybe it says here actually. Yeah, here it says 390 BC. So yeah, there has been fighting going on since then in the borderlands between the Romans and the Gallic tribes, and later on, the historical background says 232, the Romans started to settling the, well, conquered land basically from what they got from the Gauls during the wars, and basically the Romans needed more and more expansion to settle more and more of their colonists up there in the northern parts of Italy. And this was of course not seen as a good thing by the Gauls. So the Gauls that were south of the Alpines, the Cisalpines or Cisalpines if you want, if you're not a friend of the hard C Latin, then they needed to do something, right? Because the Romans were too aggressively spreading north, but probably they felt that they were not strong enough to handle this situation alone. So they actually called for help from their brothers or kinsmen located in Transalpine, or the other side of the Alpine, if you will, not on the Italian peninsula side of the Alpines. So they actually got some help there. So there were two kings at least responding to the plea of help, and those two kings are actually featured in these battles. So we have one of them here, Anerostes, and then we have Concolitanus here, the second one. So I think they were from the tribe Gesetae, by the way, from the Transalpine regions. Anyway, so they gathered up a really big force. It says 70,000 men here in the historical background info, and started to march southwards to pillage and roam the Roman lands, yeah, getting loot and burning and so stuff. So they did march against Etruria. The Romans responded with putting up one of the consular armies. I think it was on the eastern side of the peninsula to prevent the eastern route, and they also called back the consul that was located in, I think it was in Sicily at this time, to hasten up north to meet the Gallic threat. But in this battle we will not see any of the consuls actually active, because there was a smaller army on the western side of the Italian peninsula north of Rome, which was led by a nameless praetor here, which we see here. So, and I think I read somewhere that he had about 1 legion of strength in his army. And this army would mostly have been consisted of Etruscans and Sabines also. Sabines, who were the tribe living in the hilly area close to Rome on the close to Latium. So most of these troops are actually Roman allies here, even though they are legionaries here, of course, led by this praetor. So they actually got bypassed by these Gallic horde that were marching through the Etruscan lands. And when they learned about that, I mean, this praetor was the only guy in between, or he was no more in between actually, between Rome and the Gallic army, because he had been bypassed. And the Gallic army, who were reaching towards Clusium, they were dangerously near Rome, because it's all about 3 days march from Rome actually, so they are really close. And I think it had stuck in Roman memory, you know, the sack of Rome in 390. So they didn't want that to happen again. So they had to do what they had to do. The only guys they had in close proximity was this army led by the praetor. So he started to march southwards towards the Gauls, and the Gallic horde got aware of this threat. They probably got some information that, okay, here's a Roman army coming in our back, so they had to turn around and face the Romans. And at some point they were really close to each other, but it was close to night, so they couldn't really engage. So they set up a camp pretty close to each other, and the Gallic horde, they were burdened with a lot of loot from their campaigns in Etruria and northern Italy. So they actually wanted to, you know, first of all, they didn't want to meet the full consular army that was also heading towards this direction. So they were not that keen to be stuck here and wait for more Romans to pour in. So they had actually planned to start to, well, take the loot with them and doing a slow retreat towards north. So their plan was actually to retreat towards a city named, or maybe it's only a town, a smaller town, I don't know, called Faesulae, and that's actually close to Firenze or Florence of today. And at the same time, they need to do something with the Romans. So they set up a cunning plan. They left the cavalry in the camp. So this is representing the camp they set up, also seen here in the scenario notes, and retreated off and hid their infantry in the wooded area north of the camp. The next morning, the Romans approached. They saw that, okay, that the Gauls had only left some cavalry as a rear guard for the army, and they were thinking, okay, they were more or less in a full retreat up north, so we should hastily pursue them. That was the plan. So they force marched against the cavalry here in the camp, who did retreat toward Faesulae and followed close by the Romans. And when the Romans reached the camp and beyond, the Gauls launched their ambush. So they had a lot of troops that could kind of surround the Romans here. So they attacked, but the Romans were stubborn. They were fighting hard here, and it was a close to an even fight here. But the numbers for the Gauls must have been so much larger. So, I mean, if this is only about one legion with some extra troops, then, I mean, and if these guys are maybe 60,000-70,000, then you understand the numbers will take their toll in the end. So the Romans had to retreat up to a hill. I don't know if this is the hill in this scenario that where they retreated up to, and well, started to prepare for a bitter defense on that hill. The Gauls were well, kind of besieging them there, but as they learned the consular army was now pretty close by and catching up with them, they couldn't really stay here and linger on. So they started this retreat towards north. So that was the rescue for these Roman guys. Anyway, they lost the battle. I mean, the Romans did, but it was not that big of a loss that it was a catastrophe. But it's interesting to know that, I mean, also if you look at what we're going to see in the future, the Hannibal's war in Rome, it was always like these Romans walk right into the traps, right? And here's the same thing. They're not concerned of too much recon, and at least not before the Battle of Trasimene or after that. Then they started to learn the lesson and value the recon part of warfare. But here they are pretty much just running into this trap, and the Gauls were really cunning here who managed to do this with such a big army as well. So yeah, that's the set for this battle. So let's check the war council. So we have the Gallic army led by the kings Anorestes and Concolitanus, and we have this Roman unnamed praetor here who's leading the Roman army. Both sides will get 5 command cards, that's even, and the Gauls are moving first. The fight will go on till one side gains 6 banners, and we have some special rules here. So when the first one is about these Gallic camp hexes. So if a Roman unit occupies them, then they are removed at the start of the Roman player's turn, and if the Romans manage to remove all 3 camp hexes, they will gain 1 victory banner for that effort. Then we had the barbarian chariot rules in effect. We're gonna check what that is in a while. And then it says we have this optional setup because this is a Primarian reform Roman army. So I will, even though if you look at the symbols here or the pictures of the troops, they are from the Red Romans, so to speak, the Romans that came with the civil wars, or maybe they are actually included in this barbarian expansion. Anyway, I have used, as you can see here, the gray old Republican army blocks. I think that suits this battle better. And well, for the barbarian chariots, well, that's a new unit that we haven't seen before. I can just show it. It's over there in the baseline of the Gallic army here. Here's the look of it. Pretty cool. So light chariots. And what do they do then? So we have them. Okay, so we have light chariot and then we have light barbarian chariot, right? So it's a difference there. So let's see. So they move 3 hexes. They barbarian chariots have no missiles that light chariots have. And then we have these close combat dice regulations here. I mean, normally they fight with 2 in attack and defense, but as long as they are full strength units, meaning 3 blocks, then they actually fight with 3. So it's a kind of like the barbarian warriors, who fight with 4 dice as long as they have full strength. So 3 strength in combat, and then they can ignore 1 sword symbol, as chariots usually do. They may always evade. They can advance and battle, but not take that extra step and then battle. And they retreat 3 hexes. And let's see. Yeah, then they also have these, same as for warrior infantry. No, sorry, let's see. I think there was something with that. They can also... Where can it be? Retreat 1 additional hex per flag when attacked by elephant or camel. That's fine. But I think they also could... I need to check the rules actually. I'm pretty sure they can, as long as they are in full strength, they can also ignore one flag. Because that's the same thing for the warriors, but it's really may ignore one flag. See note 1. What's that? Note 1, support. May ignore one flag. Okay, I need to check that because I'm pretty sure I read that these can also ignore one flag. I'm gonna check that and be right back. Okay, I checked it and that's true. So they can ignore one flag just like warriors can. It's strange though that they can. It's noted here for the warriors, but it's not noted here in may ignore. So, but anyway, they can. So that's it. And here we have the battle board. So we're gonna check the armies, of course. So let's start with the Roman Praetor's army, and we have quite a traditional legion set up here. It's a bit more zoomed in from some other battles because we have 4 legionaries here for 1 legion. So, but let's start with the left wing here. So we have some velites over there, some auxilia, more velites. They are backed up by some cavalry here. Then we have these 4 units of legionaries here, or medium heavy infantry, and then a velite unit over there on the right hand side. And this is the Praetor, and this is some minor leader. And we also have some cavalry over here, medium heavy, and these guys are backed up here by another auxiliary unit. And here in the very last line, or the baseline here, we have Triarii unit, away back. The Gauls then, well, up front here in the camp hexes, we have 3 units of Gallic cavalry, medium heavy. And back there we have, could say we have 4 clusters of 3 units each. So here we have 1 warrior, 1 auxiliary, and a light. Here with one of the kings we have the chariot we talked about, and a warrior, another warrior. So here's the real heavy strike force. And here we have the same pattern as the first one, a warrior, an auxiliary, and then some light infantry. And the same pattern repeats over here with what is the name of this guy? Concolitanus, the other king, Gallic king there. So 3 of these pattern clusters, and then we have these elite force here, and these cavalry up front. So the Gauls go first. So if we start a bit about their tactics, I think I will. I think if I get the chance, I'm gonna withdraw the cavalry, let the Romans advance towards the camp, and then basically do the counter charge with the whole force if possible. We could try to join lines as I used to do, so the line commands and other command cards that benefits these lines or chains of units can be used a bit more efficiently. I think I'm gonna do that if possible, and then I just gonna charge in as a real barbarian towards these Roman legion here. That's my plan, and and well, get these 6 banners quickly and bravely. That's the plan. And for Romans, well, I'm gonna do some, well, I think I'm gonna stick to the history a bit. I'm gonna rush forward and I'm gonna take the camp as soon as possible. I'm gonna get that banner for that, and then we're just gonna stand and fight against the Gauls. We know they're coming, but when the scenario starts, we should not know that the Gauls are hidden back there. So we will just rush forward. I also think we could try to take control of these hills and place some lighter troops up there. They can put up a good defense, because then the legionaries can do the good battle here on the plain below. And we are quite okay backed up with the cavalry as well. A bit weaker than the Gauls, but we can keep the flanks secure. Would also be nice to get the Triarii up, of course, so they can participate in the battle. They will be really, really important in that. So, well, that's just some quick drops of plans. So let's see how it goes. I think it's going to be fun, because I'll quite try to follow history here. March up to the Romans, wait with the retreat with the cavalry, and then do the charge from the ambush locations. Alright, so the goal starts. We're gonna reveal their card A and B. It's a double time and an inspired left leadership. So let's see what they can play. That would be an A, B or C, so we're gonna reveal the C card as well. And that's 4 unit center, and that's pretty perfect, because that will give me the chance to get back the cavalry as I wanted. Perfect, thank you. So 1, 2, 3, and yet another 1. And as I said, my plan is to link up some troops, so I'm gonna actually order these guys, yeah. So King Anarustus will move up here. The cavalry will just back up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we should put 1 to this side as well. 1, 2, 3, so we can counter the Roman cavalry if needed. But we're going to be a bit more heavy on our right hand side here. So that's it. Quite a nice line. Okay, we aren't really in a true line here, because we have some cavalry interrupting, so we cannot place a line command here and then move everybody up, but I think it's good enough. So replace the card and then check what the Romans have from the beginning. They have I am Spartacus, well, not a bad card to start with, and a line command. Another cool thing that could replay our historic feeling of this battle, because we could pretty much just stop moving forward a big line here. Let's see what cards they can play, or card. It's another A, B or C then. So the line command is possible, but we also have the C. That will be 2 units right. But I'm gonna play the line command. I'm gonna start moving forward towards that camp hex. I don't bother to even mark these units. I'm just gonna move them 1 step forward. I don't thinking should I step. I think I'm gonna step in this direction, because then I can move up that guy as well a bit better. And I want the legionaries, or the medium heavy infantry at least, to be here on the plains. Here and here, and that's it. Too bad these guys were not in the line, so they are held back a bit here. And nothing in firing range yet, and that's pretty funny, because we have no 3 range missile units in this battle at all, only javelins. Replace that card. Then we check the goals. It's an A or B. So double time or inspired left leadership. Let's see, the double time we still cannot really reach them, so I'm gonna wait with that. So, and the left leadership, well, We could get these guys in line as well. Not bad at all, actually. I think I'm gonna do that. So I'll play the left leadership. So just gonna move these guys. Conclitanus here, and these guys, they can move here, so they have some nice missile range there. Something like that. We are seeing these guys gathering a big line here now. Okay. Replace the card. Then goes to Romans. A or B? Spartacus or 4 units left, so you should probably order some units here. And I'm quite happy with that, because now I can move up my cavalry to the flank, and I can start moving my triarii, and I can start some harassing with the velites as well. I think I'm gonna do that as well. So that's 4 units right. The velites will now bravely move up to do their job. I don't bother to go in there yet. These guys start moving forward, and the cavalry I think I could place them behind the woods there. Now I don't think if the warriors will enter here, I don't think they can battle in the same turn actually. I'm not sure. I know light infantry could, maybe warriors can also, because they are some kind of special units, but I'm gonna dare to be here anyway. I need to check that woods rules if needed. Anyway, we're gonna see the first battle rolls of this game, and let's see if we can hurt that cavalry. Let's start here. That's a red. Fire the second against the same unit, and that's a leader symbol, so 2 misses here. So no, the velites did not hit those horses. Okay, so now's the Gauls, and it could actually begin now. A, B or C? Let's see, double time, coordinated attack, or light troops. Double time first of all. I cannot reach them by that, other than these velites who can evade, so I'm not gonna bother to play that. The coordinated attack then, well, we could attack with 1 unit, or attack, at least move 1 unit on each sector here. What could we do with that then? We could charge here and stuff, but as I said, those guys can evade, so I don't know. The light troops, well, we could start with some traditional skirmishing and also send forward some units. I think I'm gonna go with the lights. So that will be 5 units. Let's see what we have. These guys should be ordered. They can already fire from there if wanted, but I wanted to get that chariot out from behind there. So I'm gonna do like this: 2, 3. 4 and 5. Let's do like that. So I'm gonna actually go there. Gonna meet that cavalry. These guys march up to the woods. No, maybe they should go. They will go over here actually. They cannot battle then. And now I'm gonna move the chariots up here. I don't want to place myself in range of those 2 velites, because I have a retreat of 3, so I'm gonna keep them behind there for a while. And here we're just gonna move up some of the lighter units to be ready to throw the javelins as the Romans approach. And here. And that's it. So we have a kind of a two lines starting to form here with some lighter units and cavalry up front and the heavier troops back there. Alright, and that was, by the way, the light troops. So replace the card and then goes the Romans. Okay, that would be C or lowest face-up order count. So C or that one. So basically it's gonna be C for the Romans then. Which means 2 units right. So I'm gonna actually take in possession these hill hexes now. So I'm gonna order these 2. Place the velites on the very flank. I'm actually gonna rush up 2 hexes with these guys who cannot then battle because they are auxilia. But we are holding that high ground, don't denying the barbarians those. And then we can throw some javelins and let's see if we can scare those guys away. They are unsupported there. No, we missed them. Too bad. That would have been a good thing to do actually. Alright, let's replace the card and then goes to barbarians. Or Gauls, sorry. Okay, that's the same one. C, so we're gonna check what that is. Darken the sky. Oops, I think I forgot to do a battle here. Let's do it really quick. That's actually a hit. So these guys should have lost 1 block. I forgot about that, sorry guys. It was the last turn. So, again, we had a C or lowest order count. So that would be Darken the Sky or a coordinated attack. So what could we achieve with the Darken the Sky? We could fire from here, we could fire from here, we could fire from here, and we could fire from here. We have quite some good stuff here to do actually. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play the Darken the Sky. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 units can fire twice. I think that's really good actually. So let's start here. 2 dice. Okay, that's a flag and no hit. That was bad because now we forced those guys back and we have no target anymore for these guys. But those can fire against that auxilia up in the mountains or the hills. And the first was a miss. Second fire is a hit and a flag, and now those guys are also unsupported actually. So first of all they take a hit, then they need to retreat back. So we are forcing the Romans back from the hills here with heavy javelin throwing. We have sending forth some young Gallic warriors doing some kind of a caracol attack here, right? Rushing forward and throwing the javelins, backing, and then comes the next wave, and well, basically scaring the Romans off that hilltop. And we're not ready. So let's continue from here. We're gonna fire against that Velite unit. First fire, miss. Second one, another miss. Nothing there. Then we have these guys. I think I'm gonna continue at least the first fire against that cavalry. Let's see if we can get some more of those Romans. Oh, we are lucky now. 1 more. If we hit with the second missile attack, we get them. And well, we could actually do it because those guys are not supported, so they need to go back 6 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they actually dead. So we managed to scare off that Roman cavalry pretty early in the battle by some heavy javelins. So the horses there were apparently very, very nervous all from the beginning. Just a few rounds of missiles and they are gone from the battlefield. So this means the Gauls gathered the first victory banner in this battle. Amazing. I'm gonna replace the card in slot C, and then let's pay the Romans as well. Okay, C or lowest order count. So it need to be the C probably, and that's a line command. Well, well, well. Well, I'm gonna play these guys for the line command. So now we'll start to conquer these hexes of camps. I'm also gonna move up here. I dare to do that because I'm uphill, so if their crazy warriors come here, they can only attack with 2 dice. These guys will go up, they can fire, and these guys will go here. Cannot fire. So we are anchoring that position a bit. So we got 1 battle to do, and we gonna try to hit the Gaul cavalry, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. And that's a miss. So, for these camp hexes to disappear, we need to we need to hold them until the next Roman player turn, so the Gauls have a chance to take them back, and they indeed could, because they have loads of troops that could reach them. But these guys are pretty nicely anchored there. They can ignore 1 flag for being supported. These guys can ignore 1 flag for being winner leader, and they can ignore yet another one because they are in a camp hex. So they virtually cannot be forced to retreat from there. They must be a crazy roll in that case. Okay, so that was the line command for the Romans, and I think I have enough for 1 session here. So I'm gonna close this part right here, because now the tension is building up. You see how close they are to each other now. So in the next part we will see some big clashes, and I don't know if this game will survive to a 3rd session. To be honest, it's gonna be fierce from next turn on. And we know what we have here, and I mean, the Gauls have double time, so they can get in 4 units into the fight pretty quickly, and the Romans could counter with a Spartacus card. So this will get really bloody, I'm sure of that. Anyway, we have the Gauls in lead 1-0. The Romans are pretty close to getting control of these camp hexes, and by that they could gain a victory banner. On the other hand, the Gauls could protect their last one there if they put maybe the king himself there. So that could be a pretty tough nut for the Romans to crack to get this one. And well, we also might see the charge of the chariots next turn. Let's see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you'll be back for some Gallic-Roman war action in part 2. Bye for now.